Hi, guys, and welcome back to Softly Growing, a space dedicated to becoming gently, intentionally, and in alignment. And today, I want to chat to you guys about how doing too much or how too much of something is not good, or too little of something is not good. I feel like we all know that. I feel like the more you overgive yourself, and we can take it from there. The more you overgive yourself, that's when it backfires. It always backfires. The more you do less for yourself, that's basically self sabotage. All right. Yes. So today I'm just want to talk to you guys about how I learned in my experiences how doing too much, overgiving, how too much of something is never good for you. Like in relationships, if you are in a relationship and you really want your relationship work, you need to have a balance. This applies to whatever relationship you have in life, whether it's romantic, whether it's platonic, or whatever the case. It basically applies to a lot of things in life. If you put too much into something, it most probably will backfire, because too much of something is not good. The world, the universe works with the law of polarity, right? There always has to be a balance. That's why there is good and there is bad in the world, because the universe works on the law of polarity, duality, the yin and the yang. You cannot overgive. If you overgive, it's going to backfire in some way. If you do too less, it's also gonna backfire in some way. In a relationship, if you're always available, if you have always given your time, you're always available, you're always overgiving, you're teaching the next person that is in a relationship with you that they can do whatever and you will still take it. Because what? You are just giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. So that is what you're teaching people. If you continue to, and the more you, I feel like the more you overgive, you're basically saying to yourself that because like when you overgive, imagine this is your cup, right? And your cup is so full, but because you keep giving and giving and giving and giving, you have less and less and less. And if there's nobody pouring back into you, that means you continue to just drain yourself, drain your energy, drain your essence. You always need to be in balance. You cannot be over, because if you are over, it's good if you're giving but also receiving. That's why there is a balance, because if you're always giving, you're going to run on empty. And I feel like a lot of women, specifically women, we have been conditioned, I don't know, from birth and all this societal standards, that we always need to be giving, giving, giving outwardly, externally, and never internally, never to check on ourselves. So we find ourselves giving even when we are running on low. And that is a formula for you to go into survival mode. I am telling you, if you keep overgiving, you're selling yourself short, and you're telling the people around you that no matter what happens, you are always going to be the one who is giving, and they will get used to that. And it's not their fault that they will get used to that, because you are the one making them get used to it, because you are the one creating that type of reality for yourself. But if you limit yourself, if you set for yourself some boundaries, boundaries are very important. If you set boundaries for yourself and say that, okay, I'm going to only do this much for people, and I'm going to take this much into myself. I'm only going to give this much into a relationship, and I'm going to give this much into myself. I know it may sound like it's so selfish, it's so sinister. Like, who thinks like that? You need to be giving. No, that is not healthy. That is not healthy. You need to learn how to be selfish with your own energy. You need to learn to be selfish with your own time. You need to learn to be selfish with yourself. You cannot give love into somebody else. You cannot give into other people if you yourself are literally drying out. If you yourself are literally trying to catch a break, trying to catch some air. Do you understand? So too much of something is never good. I don't know what example I can make next, but boundaries are very important and they help you not to overgive, because overgiving is kind of like people pleasing, really. Because like, why would you be overgiving? Why would you be doing too much if you are looking like, if you are selfish about yourself, if you are loving on yourself? Why would you want to do that? Obviously, when you love yourself, when you value yourself, when you put yourself on your own pedestal, you are only seeing yourself. And when you do that, that is actually the healthiest love there is in the world, because when you can pour into yourself, you are full enough. And you, with boundaries, then you know how much you will give of yourself to other people. You don't do too much, you don't do too little, you just do enough for who? Enough for you. Because the one that really matters is you, not the people around. We are not seeking to people please. We are not seeking validation from people. No, we are seeking to grow ourselves, to love ourselves, to pour into ourselves, to give into ourselves first. And people who overgive usually are people who have no boundaries for themselves. And if you have no boundaries for yourself in this world, everybody is just going to take advantage of you, because they can see that, oh, well, she doesn't have any boundaries, so I'm just gonna, well, suggest something and she'll take it. Or I'm just gonna tell her to do something for me and she's gonna take it. And of course, you're gonna take it, because clearly you have no boundaries. And I used to be exactly like that. I used to be a people pleaser hard, very hard, very hard. When people would say jump, I'd say hi, 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 hi. I would say how high. When people say, oh, well, can you help me with this? I'd say, okay, sure, and even put myself last. But because I went through that whole experience, I was able to see and to learn that actually this is not good. It's not good for me, because when I was doing that, I was so exhausted from helping everybody else out. And then when it was time for me to pour into myself, I had nothing. I was running on empty. And that was continuous. It continued and continued, and it becomes a cycle, and it becomes an unhealthy cycle. And for you to break out of that cycle is very hard, but you can still break out of it. But it is very important for you not to even start the cycle, because you really don't even have to go through that. Honestly, you don't have to put yourself through that. You get me? So you cannot always overgive. People pleasing is not good. It's not good for your mental. It's not good for your spirit. It's just not good. It's not good. It's not the part of the law of the universe. And once you go against one of the laws of the universe, baby, the universe is going to find a specific way to teach you, which it did teach me, that you should stop doing that to yourself. Because one thing the universe prides itself in is you loving yourself. You loving yourself, you taking care of yourself, you taking care of the God that is inside of you, you nourishing yourself and taking care of every instrument of you before you pour into other people. And the more people are taking care of themselves individually, then we are all individually going to pour into each other just to the right amount, because we all taking care of ourselves, we have boundaries set for ourselves. So it becomes a healthy mutual relationship, whether romantic, platonic, or whatever. It literally just becomes a healthy, ongoing give and take of energy, not just give, take, take, take. Too much of something is not good. Too little of something is not good. You always have to keep the scales balanced. The scales always have to be balanced. The law of polarity, the law of the universe is to always keep things balanced. You cannot overgive, you cannot undergive. Keep your boundaries, keep your boundaries, keep the love for yourself, and be selfish with your energy, be selfish with your time, be selfish with your essence. Just be selfish with yourself. The more you do that, the more you'll be able to tap into how to help other people without over exhausting yourself. I don't know if that makes sense, but I hope this episode helps you in a way, because I remember I was stuck in survival mode on that term. I was stuck because I remember that I was stuck in survival mode, or I was stuck in that cycle because I couldn't see that I needed to actually invest into myself. I needed to actually please myself first, be selfish with myself first before I can give other people. And now that I am pouring into myself, everything just makes sense. And when I give, I have limits. I'm like, okay, I'm going to give this much. After that, I'm done. And that's just the healthiest thing that you can do for yourself. I hope this episode helped you, and I guess I'll catch you in the next one. I hope you got something that will help you if you're going through survival mode, if you're going through a stage where you are people pleasing, and it's okay. We all go through this stuff. It's not that you have it bad. No, I've been there. So if you are there, you are going to make it out of there, just like I made it out of there. And I'm just trying to shed light for you so that you do remember that, you know what, if somebody else can do it, many other people can do it too, because you are also human. You are also the universe experiencing itself. You have the power to create the type of reality that you want to live in. I love you so much, and I hope you always take care of yourself. You love yourself, you put yourself first, and you put boundaries so high that all your relationships are working for both parties involved in the relationship. That's all for today, and I'll see you in the next one.